I have a few things to say, and I've been working on the size of the football field between the Canadian and National. When you go to Canadian Football League, you get Canadian 3, Football 6, League 12. Each one doubles. We get it at the 55-yard line, which is the Spirit of 76, which is 7 lines, which is 5 lines, which is outside of white lines and the red lines. Canadian Football League, they show a 12-minute difference in time compared to a 10-minute difference in time. The difference in time between 10 and 12, between 50 and 60 is 20%, averaging out to 72 degrees. 72 times 4 will be 360 degrees around. I came out to a number that shows either we're missing 12 minutes on every single hour on the clock, and a total of almost 288 minutes or 5 hours a day that we're running short. But I was calculating on the weekend anyways, if we lose a day a week, we're actually losing 52 days a year. If we lose 52 days a year, we're losing 7 weeks and 3 days. By the time we get that 3 days, 6, 9, 12, it'll be the 4th leap year, the 17th year before the calendars will repeat. Therefore, that means every 17 years, 2016 and 1996 and 2013 should be repetitive calendars. If you look at today's date, back in 1996, it should say the same day on the same day of the week. The thing is, we lose 1 year. Every time we go 7 times 52 is 364 days. So every time we go 7 years, it's actually 6 years. So if we go completely the whole way, 7 by 7 is 49. It's actually 7 times 6 is 42, which is the Spirit of 76, is the 49, because it's that hump and the jump of every single minute that we go around the clock. The other thing that I was looking at is the 1 ace is replaced by the 3, in which the 1 goes and borrows 1 from this side, 1 on this side, and becomes the 1 in the center. Either it's the propeller, or it's the core that turns the top and the 2 outsides from the center. I turn in the center, turning this one here, turning this one here, turning this one in this corner on this angle, turning this one in this corner on this angle. But that's not what we're going to. This is why we get the 72 hours and the moons. On the 3 card, we have a heart moon, a sun. We have a sun on the 1, which goes into the 2 card, and inside the 2 card, we now have a sun inside the 2, which makes it the 3. Then we take another 2 card, and we make another 2 card, and we crisscross, we have a 5. But when we come to the 7 and the 8 card, they show moons in the center. Moons. I don't know exactly how it works. Look at the cards. The 9 card will show you what works off all the moons. The 7 and the 8. If the 9 card shows you the moons, it shows you 4 on top and 4 on the bottom. 2 and 2 moons on the inside and 4 on the outside. Now those moons, I'm not sure where they come from, that they could come from Mars, Saturn. Either it's on one corner, coming out of Venus, Mercury, and Mars, and Jupiter. Could be on the corner of Uranus. Do you know why? Do you know the cut of the vampires? That's 2 moons, the cut of the vampires. You ever see the hairstyle that's like this? You ever see the nose that's cut in between the center? Because it comes from the center world. It comes from the center world of the 2 worlds connected to both worlds in its own dimension. The clef on the chin. The 4 and the 2 teeth that they put in the front. Of the 32 teeth with 48 or 52 numbers. 48 angels. We now have the 7 and the 8 moon. Here's 7 and 8. These are the ways out. This moon is on the top of your quarter moons, which I say is your pelvis section and your head. That's the time when it's the quarter moons, and they'll be going over the top of your head, but they connect to the 2 sides of your shoulders, which are your shoulder moons. But if you hold it like this, it becomes the 8 card. You see the diamond in the center? This would actually create the M, MV. This over here, this marking, would create the U. It's all about coordinates. It's all about coordinates. See this one over here? Forget about the round in here, but it's the head moon. And here is the U moon. You see the way U? Because it's cut off. It's only part of it. This is what happens to it. There's something that's taking its place, continuing on the exterior of each moon. Here's one moon, here's two moons, here's three moons, here's two part moons. Your quarter moons before your full moons. As the moon moves, it moves all around you, and it connects to the moon in your hips and the moon in your head, the moon on both sides of your hips, and then your gland moon. Oh, I'm having my period. Well, there it is. There it is. The information is there. You're not having a child, they'll get rid of it, but they need to collect the blood. They collect the blood, they don't have to collect it all here, they can think. Am I off? Am I saying it wrong? Wrong, period. P-E-R, per, ear, per ear, birth, per time, period. So, when we do all this, this is NHL, but why I did it is why? Is because the N that gets created between the U and the N from the quarter moons or half moons, the N, when I put an L next to the N, it actually creates an H. So now we have an H with the N, and the H with the N, the L, the small L that we did make, is the NHL, ends up being just one letter. Here's your extension of 1 with the N that's on your moon. This is your antenna. N, and you put that there, you got H. But because this is an L instead of 1, you have NHL all in one word. The beta moon is number 10. 10, 20, 30. That is creation of something. It becomes into the B world. But it doesn't matter. Once you have the B world, you don't have the B world without a life. So you'll always have 2 on each side, up this side, this side, this side, and this side. And one core will be running east and west in your hips. And then one will be coming through your moon, through your body, and then the extension of your moon in your body when it comes out your sex. Either it comes out your sex as you're having sex, or it comes out in sex while you're sitting on the throne contemplating about having sex, or whatever else you're doing there, because of the moons. The letter E is the equal sign, and all it is part of a moon, connecting one top, coming out the bottom, and you're the tail end. The electronic moon is when your dick gets stiff. The J versus the C, which is not a C at all, but it's part of the moon. Again, it gets cut off, different parts. You see this? When you connect the moon from here all the way around to here, you have the opening, the extension. This moon will disappear on the inside because your sex has taken it over. This moon will disappear because your sex has taken it over. Unless you're playing football or any other sport, then you end up going on this angle. And your energy gets concentrated towards one side. Instead of doing 100 things, now you got the game to cancel. Otherwise, you're standing up straight, but you're wobbling. This is the best way to be. Anytime you're this way, it's the best way to be. You see the way this is going? Imagine if we went up and down and did it on our hair. Uranus has 2 U's. Here's one U, and here's 2 U's. 2 parts of 2 moons of one thought. The division in the center shows you the angle of all the division of the hair. I lost my hair in that fashion between these 2 sides, although I don't show it, except for my eyebrows. The tip of my nose. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Like from nowhere, all of a sudden, what do you think the cat's going to do? Don't use toilet paper. 10-year-old cats never use toilet paper once in their life and their ass is still clean. Because they go to the point and they scratch out every matter. Cats are stronger than dogs. They're faster than dogs and jump higher than dogs. For little cats, that is. The next thing we're going to go on to is we told you. I don't like to say I told you, but anyways, to skip and go back. This is the O world. Into this world jumps a whale. Through the O and into the world like Big Willie. I always thought I didn't like the Q, but the Q stands for cat. Quatre. When you say cat in French, you use and cat and chat. You use a C in French when you say cat. But when you say a cat as for 4 in French, you're using a Q because we jump the letter O into this world through the hoop. And here we go. There goes the seal. Went through the hoop, the seal. There goes the dog. Jumped through the hoop. Everybody's into the O world. Manana. Man angel. Something to do with the whale. What is the hoop? I'm not quite sure. It could be the extension of a sexual organ, and it might mean something else, and it definitely does mean something else a little bit higher up. Maharaji, Maharaji, har, actually this says hour of time, the hour of man. Mana, M, 13 and 1 is 14, 13 and 1 is the way the Mayans started their thing. The hours of Jacob. Jacob is the pie. It's a pie of two worlds. J is the pie of two worlds. We take one here, we go all the way down 1, 2, 3 of J, and we come up. Then we go 1, 2, 3 of J, and we go all the way down here, and then we go up. That's J. Now J goes like this, and it's almost like a flower garden, because if you go through a deck of cards, the jacks have this exact logo. The jacks and the kings have these logos. The jack has this. This is exactly what the jack shows. So if you want to take the jack, you can do one of two things. Now, how would we process the center if it was on a grind? If it was on a grind, and then over here, would be this. And this turns. This turns. As this turns, it'll grind this world and this world. I'm not sure if it's this part of the world that grinds and this part of the world that grinds, because it has to go out towards the centers. Even though it's in this world, it's going up on another angle, but it meets at the center here. They meet on an angle. So we'd have to do this, then we'd have to do this and this. At the same time, we'll have to do this. Looks like man's got a heart on, eh? Same thing, we do it here, and we got this and this and this and this and this. And we got the Allman Brothers. That's right, I was taught to draw by making almonds all over the place. So you basically have this. So you have these two worlds, and then you have it reverted the other way. And so this would grind out the second section of the world. Now whether or not, anyways, this is the way I'm thinking, this is what I see. I'm just jumping around. This is a regular size. Why? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put in here, not 8. This is the center. I shouldn't put anything here. Whatever goes here should come from here, because this is number 9. Number 9 plays from this position. If number 9 plays from this position, I would have to do this. This is what I would have to do. Why? Because I need to play here, 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 and here. While I play these 4 positions, the same position over here, okay, is playing the same position over here. And it becomes replica. And this is the crown, because now we join both areas of life. In the roulette wheel, you can bet here, 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 or this end. But you cannot bet down here. If you bet down here, you cannot bet this. Because once you bet here, you're not betting here. You have to take an extra chip and put it here, so now you got 2 chips. It's 1 chip bets, it's either here, here, here. Wherever you put it is what you join. You cannot join this section if you're joining this section. You can join this section, but you can join all 12 of the numbers, which is the 12 hands of the clock in one section, or you can join this whole section here. This section here, and you can get 2 to 1 odds. So if you bet this section here, and then the section here at 12, and then you bet the section here and down here of 12, and the section here, which means like this, you're betting this 12 here, and this 12 here. There's 3 12s. You're betting 2 of them. The odds are 2 to 1. If you lose 1, they take it away. If you win 1, they don't take it, they give you 2. So if I win this one here, I get 2 plus the 1 equals 3, minus the 1 equals 2 I won. I have 2. If I have 2, I bet 2 to start with. I bet 2, I win 1, I had to have 3. They took away this 1, but I had started with 2. I have 3. I only actually won 1. Now, if I bet this 12, and this 12, you notice there's an empty corner here? Because there is no corner. We're not betting this. There is no such thing. It doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist here, that means it's got to be created for Y. It doesn't exist. 12, 12, and 12, 36, 12, 12, and 12. Either we're betting 1, 4, 7. And it'll always say, once you see the row 147, just continue down, add it to a single digit, you got 147, 258. So if I bet this and this, like I said, and then I bet here and here, I will bet 4 chips. If this number comes out over here, okay, there's only 4 numbers. I have bet 12, I have bet 12, I have bet 12, I have bet 48 numbers. There's only 36. There's going to be one row. I will not bet here. I will not bet this 12 here, but I got it here and here. That means there's 4 numbers. Only 4 numbers. 4 numbers of 36 that you can lose on. Only 4 at 36 plus the 0 and the double 0 if it's included. So that's 5 numbers or 6 numbers that you can lose on. Now what and why would you be losing on those 6 numbers? And it's happened. I did it and lost 3-4 times in a row on those exact 4 numbers that didn't come in. And it can be any 4 numbers, but it's got to be 4 numbers in a rotation of up and down. It's got to be 4 numbers in the same row, in the same section. It can't be a cross. It can't be a cross because down here you're getting up this row and this row. Regardless, you're getting up this row and this row. There's only going to be a row of 12 here. But when you get it this way and this way, you're getting 12 and 12. That's 24. 12 and 12 is 24 is 48. There's only 4 left here that you're going to lose. So let's say the 4 that are left over are 3, 6, 9, and 12. 21 and 6. Let's see, 23. So you're either going to lose 3, 6, 9, and 12, or you're going to lose, either you lose 3, 6, 9, or 12, or you're going to lose 2, 4, 2, 5, 8, and 11, or you're going to lose 1, 4, 7, 10. You're going to lose any one of those, or you're going to lose in the next row. If you don't take the next row, then you're going to lose 13, 15, 17, 13, 16, 19, 22, or you're going to lose 14, 17, 20, 14, 17, 20, and 23, or you're going to lose 13, 16, 19, and 22. Now, in the third scenario, if you bet on 4 areas, here's from here to here is 12, and here to here is 12, and here to here is 12. Now you have here to here is 12. I don't think you're going to like that. Let me make it a little bit neater to show you. I'm going to show you this again, okay? You're in roulette, okay? And you have 12 in a row this way, and you have 12 in a row this way, and you have 12 in a row this way, and you have a box of 12. You have 3, 3, 3, and 3. You have a total of 12. Then you have another box, and you have this, and this, and this. And then you have 3, 3, 3, and 3, which is 12. And then you have another box, and it's down like this, down like this, down like this. And it's 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 numbers across. Now when you bet on this bottom row over here for this row or this row, if you bet this one here and this one here, this row is empty. So what you do is you bet this 12, and you bet this 12. Now this row is full from up here, this row is full from up here, but this row is not. This row over here is 36, 33, 30, and 27. If you put this one over here, you end up missing this row. And this row over here is 26, 29, 32, and 35. And if you end up not taking this chip and you put this chip here instead of here, this one you'll miss 25, 28, 31, and 34. If it was the same thing in this row, if you didn't put a chip here, if you put the chip here instead, you take this 12 instead of this 12. So you end up winning this 12, but you lose this 12. So this 12 over here is I'm just trying to think. This is 27, 30, 33, 36. This is 24, 21, 18, and 15. But the difference with this one, it's a little bit different. This is Nibiru in this one. Nibiru is right in here, and Planet X and the comet is all in here. The 110 stories of its twin towers, everything is inside of here. Why? Because this is the split between the 18 total and the 21. The first 18 and the last 20 and the last 19. Why? Because the number is 19, but it's the 18 numbers that are here. The last number ends in 18, and it is 18 numbers over here. Over here, you would end up getting 23, 20, 17, and 14. Over here, you get 22, 19, 16, and 13. Now you go to the first order of the house. You have 12. You have 9, you have 6, you have 3, you have 2, you have 5, you have 8, you have 11, you have 1, you have 4, you have 7, you have 10. It's not that I know it, because this is just the setup of roulette. So this is how it works. You're always going to lose 4. You're going to lose this 4, this 4, this 4, this 4. Any one of these 4s will be lost, and all because of what's going on over here. Not what's going by the 12, but what's going by the 3. So we have to understand that 3, okay, is the prism. So we lose because of the prison of the mind. We would lose the whole body at the same time. What is all these 3s? 3, 6, 9, 12. This one comes in 4 times 3. This is your calendar. So this is your calendar, then this is your moon. If your moon is 28 and there's 36, if the moon is 28 and there's 36, 8 plus 28 equals 36. Or up to 28 and you're missing 29 to 36. 29 to 36 is your birth moon, your birth, you're coming into the world. If you miss the first 8, it doesn't matter. It's not you. You get the head moon. TH, time heaven. Your head is the moon. It's the time of your land. So if you miss this one over here, you have no egg. You have no residency of the angel residency. You have no 21, which is the U letter, which means, again, you're not connected to the moon. And 2 by 4 and 2 by 6, you do not have the cat's thoughts, the cat scratch fever, and you do not have the head, so you're not really born over here. Here is the cross. This is everything to do with the crossing and connecting of your body. Your birth is over here in the last 36 of these numbers. So no matter what we do, if I add up this one, okay, it becomes 5, 8, 2, 5. If I add up this one, it'll become 4, 1. It'll be 4, 1. 19 is 10. 4, 1, 10, 4. 4, 1, 1, 4. This, my friends, over here, this is Grover Cleveland. Okay, I haven't studied him yet. It's GC. It's 7 and 3. It's also Nibiru. He's the 22nd and the 24th president. Okay, he's the president that made everybody go one step forward and one step back and one step forward and one step back. He's the president that should have started, Monopoly should have started just about the time this guy went through his presidency as the 22nd and 24th president, because in Monopoly, you start at go, and when you go 10, you've actually hit 11 spaces because you started on the first space. Go is started as 1. And in other games, sometimes when you play the games with marbles, some of the games with marbles, they don't count as 1. You just have a home. You have a house you start from. So if I went 25, 28, 31, and 34, the totality, or the average, okay, of the totality would be 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 105, 110, 118. This is 118. 55, 6 by 7 by 85, 87, 97, 107, 117, 122. And this one over here, obviously, would be 126. So this would be the part of the Mayan, and this would be in the doghouse right here. Here, you have 1 to 18, which is man's birth. AH, the angel of heaven. 11-8, which 11-8 is right over here, and that's the connection of the moon right over here. The 122, which can be actually 1 to 22 if you want, or 12, or 1 of 22, but it's actually, how can I do this? This actually fits out as 5 on this side, and this actually goes to 8 on this side, and it's the central movement system, which is right over here, which is the spirit matrix. It's the rotation, and it's also your thinking. Then you get 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6. You have 36 as 3 and 6, which again creates your center. This is your center right here. 14, 31, 51, 61, 71, 72, 73, 74. 74 equals the Einstein theory. This is the Jesus code. This is 47 of time. 88 QVH equals to this amount. And now there's a lot of other things we can do. There's a lot of things we can do. And my engine is hot and on fire. I keep going over the same thing. I'm going to stop with this part over here. Okay? I'm going to bring back the page and see if there's anything else in here we can speak about. The letter Q, the way the letter Q and 2 in the language description, the way we can build the 2 out of this. This is the O, this is a ring, this is a passage. This is the O-ring. The O-ring that doesn't let anything get out. If the O-ring is there, what are we working with? Hydraulics? I was thinking of natural foods and gardens. We get all kinds of stuff out of a garden. Is it real? Did they have carrots growing like 1,000 years ago? Where it's like if you walked in the field, you can pick up carrots, you can pick up mushrooms, you can pick up garlic, you can probably pick up a potato, maybe. But what is the reality of the existence, and why? Is it because man was created, and for the body of man, we had to create carrots. So we made homegrown. So I smoked it. And then I was thinking a little bit better. The engine was going. We all know about this, right? I showed you in the last video. See the 40 and the 6, but this way it's an A. 2011, 2014, 2008, 2019. The crank, this is Jack's helmet. This is the crank all the way down to your pelvis. This is the one side and two sides of you. This is the hat on the Jack. I'm working a little cold today. Here's the house with all the eggs. Here's the chicken house. This can be your roulette table. And the way we form it and we put in, I have to do this. I didn't do it the right way. I did this, I did this, I did this, and I did this. See the way I got each egg in its own place? This is almost like going to the chicken house. Okay? 4 chips. Okay, they take 4 corners. You take this corner with a chip, this corner with a chip, this corner with a chip, this corner with a chip. They pay 8 to 1. If you get this corner over here and you get any one of those, you'll get 8 more. You'll lose 1, 2, 3. You won't lose this one, you lose 3. So you bet 4, you lose 3, you keep 1, then you end up with 8. 8 plus the 1 you had is 9. You got 9, you lost 3 to keep 9. But this one over here, if you put a chip on it, if this one comes in, you win on all of these chips, you lose none of your chips, and you get 8, 8, 8, and 8. You got 32, and you got the passage to the back door. You know what number this is? This is 3, this is 4, this is 6, this is 7. Am I sure? I am so sure. I am more sure than anything that has ever existed. In fact, what I just told you has been existing since the first time you ever saw these square numbers set up. Because in between 1, 3, 5 is 1, 3, and 5. You don't have to go to the 3-corner. 1, 2, 5. You make a triangle. You work 1, 4, 2, and then your 3 of 2, 3, 4, and 1, 3, 5, which is right in the space over here. Space, 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 space. This 5 will get everything. You'll get the 7, you'll get the 6 is 13, 7 and 6 is 13, 7 times 6 is 42 and 13 equals 55, and now you got Canadian football of ESPN. Now you got over here, you got the 6, you got the 3 and the 4. 3 by 4 is 12. You create the moon. 3 by 6 is 18. 3 plus 6 is 9, 27. So you do this one over here to here. Now we're going to do it together. I'm going to put down this light over here, and we're going to do this together. You see this over here? We're going to go between 1, 2, 4, and 5. So between 1 and 2 and 4 and 5, we have number 3. Then we're going to go between 4 and 5 and 7 and 8. And in between, we have number 6. And then we're going to go between 8 and 9 and 5 and 6. And in between over here, we're going to have 7. And then we're going to go between 5 and 6 and 2 and 3. And then we're going to have number 4. So if we go this and up, we get 18 if we multiply it. 3 by 6, 3 plus 6 equals 9. It's a total of 27. This is the second piano key of the 7th gate equaling to the 9, and 14 equals to 23. 23 equals 2 times 3, 2 plus 3 equals 6 equals 5. 6 plus 5 equals 11, 6 times 5 equals to 30. 30 plus 11 equals to 41. It is your DNA and you're ready to go. You have connected all the way around Monopoly right to the Mediterranean where you came in. Why the Mediterranean? Because the N and the Z fit together, saying New Zealand. The Nazis, the New Zealands, we had to miscontrol with the letters and understand what the letters do. But we connected over the Mediterranean because we came in through the Middle East. Somehow there was a portal underneath the ground somehow. But as we know, we had to be reminded by the birth of Moses inside the Nile River. If you take a look down the Nile River near the ending, there is a spade. The exact same spade that somehow got painted in my kitchen on the floor. I don't know how that got there. I don't know how to paint. So then we had, anyways, at the end, we had 41. 41, 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals 9, which is your 9 moons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And guess what? I didn't do anything, and automatically there's a moon in the center. The 9. Then in the center is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's your 8, and there's your connections of all your moons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. And all these between here all get numbers. They all get numbers. 1, 2.5. 1 plus 1.5 is 2.5. Plus 1.5 is 4. Plus 1.5 is 5.5. Plus 1.5 is 7. 2 plus 1.5 is, plus 1.5 is 5, plus 1.5 is 8. 3 plus 1.5 is 6, plus 1.5 and 1.5 is 9. 9.5 is 8.5, minus a half is 7.5. 7, 4 plus a half, minus 5.5, plus a half, minus a half, 4.5, minus a half. So there's a whole lot more numbers than we actually think for coordinates, because everything has to have a passage in between. Although we start at 1 and go all the way to the end, are there any connections in between? Because we only can shove 1 bar, then we can connect to it all the way, like pig's nipples. And we have to go with the big pig, 9 and 9, 18 nipples on most pigs. Sometimes we'll get 20 and 21, but we'll get confused. We're supposed to go by the law of averages of how creation is, because in creation, it is not perfect. It doesn't need to be anyways, because you get recycled and you go back home. I mean, it's not the greatest thing to be while you're in life, but when you're out of life, before you get into life, you understand what the differences are. So what we actually do is, now we went 3 by 3. Now we're going to go 3 by 6. Now we did this. Now we're going to go 6 by 7. 6 times 7 equals 42. 6 plus 7 equals to 13 equals to 55. Now what we have to understand is the American flag is 7 by 6. So everything in this world has to be 7 by 6 for a reason, and we have to understand why we have 7 on the outside. But as you have 7 on the outside, you have the bubble that's all the way around. We have to understand the 7th gate. This is the gate, okay, that does this. And I'm an M. Here's I'm an M. I have 2 snakes of the Pharaoh, 1 on each side. I hold the passage of the crossing. The passage of the crossing. Do you understand? The passage of the crossing. Passage of the crossing. This again is tic-tac-toe. It's always the passage of the crossing. Now we went 6 and 7. Now we're going to go 7 and 4. 7 times 4 equals 28. This is now the Einstein theory. 7 plus 4 equals 11. This total is 39. Now this would be the time heaven of the moon. This is the spirit angel of man. This is the connecting parts of your mind that you need at 42, which is 13 and 1, and will always have a spirit within. Why? Because 2 and 4 separates this finger, and it's this finger that gives the guide. Now what we have to do is we have to go 4 by 3 that we didn't do. 4 by 3, 4 plus 3 equals to 12, equals to 7 is the total of 19. Now what we have to do is we didn't do 6 times 4. 6 times 4, 6 plus 4, 6 times 4, this equals 10, this equals to 24, this equals 34. This 34 goes back to this 34 over here, which is, this is Earth and Mars. This is the sandbox for man's prism. Now we didn't do 7 by 3. 7 by 3, 7 plus 3 equals 21 equals to 10. They're all going to have the 10 at the end. You will have 40 for 10. Watch. You have 31, which is the 3 angle, number 31, 13. 31 and 13 is 44, which is the 1 and the 2 come together to create the 8 and the 9, the heaven of man's birth, which is this. 1 times 1, 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 1, 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 and 4. Then we have 6 times 4 we did, 7 times 3 we did. Now we're going to calculate the pluses. Here's a plus of 9. Then we plus of 13. Then we plus of 11. Then we plus of 11 again. Then we plus of 10. Then we plus of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that what I had? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 by 3. Did I get 6 by 3? Did I get 6 by 7? Did I get 6 by 4? Yeah. Did I get 6 by 7? Yeah. Did I get 6 by 4? Yeah. Did I get 4 by 7? Yeah. Did I get 4 by 6? Yeah. Did I get 4 by 3? Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be 29, 39, 42, 52, 53, 63, 64, which equals to, again, this one over here. And this is your east-west wing of of Mars, Mars's head, and the prism that goes within the Mars, the sand we need. Mars bar, 2 parts of Earth. We need sand. We need to make sand. So we get this one over here. When we add them up, this one becomes 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2. Notice how we have 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 and only 1, 4. It's man's 2 basic moons, the 7th and the 8th gate. 2, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 equals the moon of man's head, number 19 right over here. 19 by 19, you go all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You went around 8. 8 times 5 equals 40. 8 times 6 equals 48. 8 times 7 equals 56. One of these numbers is going to give you the time of the day. 8 times 8 equals 64, and this one would give you the matrix time, because it's 60 minutes plus 4 for the 7th gate. 64, back to 64 again, back to the mind, rotation of the mind, and the prism. Back here is 8 by 8. One of these is going to give you the time of the day, the real time of the day. It has no choice. 8 is all the way around. It's around the cycle of your mind. Your body and your mind must be together, and 8 by 6 is that number. 3 and 3 is 6, 4 by 2 is 8. 3 and 2 times 2, and I know it's so right. I don't want to convince anybody. I'm not here to convince anybody. This is not about convincing. This is about learning the truth. This is about a vision I have, and a vision you can have if you come into my vision, and we can see what the real truth is. It doesn't mean what I say has to be real or true. It's just the reality within the numbers I show you, so you can come out and say, hey, that's not a good way to do it. Let's do it another way. Do you want to multiply it by 3? Will we divide it after? Let's continue on. Take the 19 and the 64, and you get 83. When you add it together, you get 83. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 plus 8 is 11. You have 35. 3 by 5 is 15. 3 plus 5 is 8. 6 and 8. The 6 ball and the 8 ball gives you 48 minutes an hour. Your mind and your body. Your 8 is your body. Your 6 is your mind. Our real time is 48 minutes an hour. 8 by 7. 8 by 6 is 48. We match. We match for the head time. 8 by 8. We match for the spirit time, 48. So the real time is 48 minutes for every single hour or every single second. Either it's 48 minutes an hour or we only have 48 seconds in a minute. I'm not quite sure which one it is. It doesn't matter. But 7 times 8 is 56. And that's the overlap in the CFL. When you go 1 yard on the other side. Where is the logo that they put on the football fields that they put in the batting cages. Where's the logo? In baseball, everybody gets their own logo in their batting cage, or some of them. I wish I can do this quicker. So now that we had this number, we brought it to 48 minutes. To go back to the 15, it's the 15 ball in pool. And the 8 ball, when you sink it, you have 2 zeros on it. The moon on the 7th and the 8th gate is your 8 ball. When you have the moon on the 7th and the 8th gate, you have the sun in the center. The 2 moons of your life have taken you home. You won the game of pool. You knocked in 15. 15 is the egg. 15 is the egg. And did I show you why 15 is the egg? 15 is 16. 16 is the 16. Hold on a second. 16 is the ball that you needed to play with, which was the cue ball. It had no team. So what actually was its number? The cue ball could have been the ball that was at 7.5 and 8.5. 7 and 8 is 15. It's a total of 16. Why? Because it's between the 8 ball. Okay, it's the difference between knocking in the 8 ball now and knocking in your other balls and then coming to the 8 ball. So you make the cue ball 7.5, and for the other team it becomes the 8.5, because in all actuality it's the round that goes between the 2. That's what gives you your circle. It gives you a double circle of the moon, of the 2 moons of Mars, and when you're pregnant, the 2 moons of Mars and the 1 moon that you have when you're pregnant are the 2 eggs that you have in your uterus. The reason for having your period, I always never really liked Mars. But if they're saying women in Mars, I mean Venus carries no moons, because in Venus, the moons of Mars are carried in the woman, making the woman have 2 moons of Mars and her own moon when she runs, or her own sun plus her own moon that she'll run that doesn't come from Venus, that might come from where? Either Neptune, Jupiter, or Uranus. I'm not really sure how it works, because I know the 1 and 2 moons. The Mercury is the red heart that pumps the blood. The brain, which takes your blood, which pumps it to your heart, that gets restamped, that gets cooled in your head. And shit comes out of your head. And somehow it goes all the way down to the bottom, but I think it goes down to the bottom transferred in blood. It's marked in blood, and then you go to the bathroom and it becomes brown. The way the transmission works, I know it's 100% definitely. I'm in the ballpark. It's in my body somewhere. Where is it? I know you're shitting around there. Where are you hiding out? Oh, you piece of shit. I know you pissed me off, but that's okay. I'm going to aim real good when I get rid of you. Oh, good. Oh, good. Jack? Jack or Johnny? Johnny Appleseed. Penicillin? In the horses? Penicillin? Ride like the wind. So I guess the wind is just like riding. Or is it ride like the ocean? Go down the ocean in a canoe? So we came around to these numbers over here. So I didn't finish off the numbers. So I used all the pluses, all the minuses. I got to a number of 83 over here. Number 83 over here. We did the pluses and the minuses. Did I do all the boards? No. Did I do this 18 here? No. So what did I actually do? I did the 10. I did the 9. I got the 9. And I got the 10s. Where did I get all the 10s? You see, I must have made a mistake. I got a 10 here. And I got a 10 here. It's 2 10s. And I got 11 here. 6 and 5. It's this 6 and 5 that I figured out. I didn't want to figure that out. All I want to figure out is 3, 6, 7, and 4. So we're going to have to go, just let's create it and do it at the end. 3 by 6, I have 18 multiplied. Do I have 18 multiplied? 18. 6 and 7 is 42, is 60. 70, 88. 7 and 4 is 88. Did I have anything else? This and this, 88. Now I have 4 and 3. So we had 88 in the first section, the first row, going straight. 3, 6, 6, 7, 7, 4. So now then we went back to here. So we had 88, which is good, which is 4 times 22, 3 times 22. 88, 66. Now we would have to go like this, 8 and 6 again. You see the way I have 8 and 6 again? Because on the dice cube, 8 and 6 are the reverse of each other. And it equals 14, which means man is still on the cross. Cross because it's a cross between his mind. So what we have is we have this over here. We have the 3, then we had 2 by 3. No, there was nothing here. This was something else. We have 6 by 4, so we need this 6 by 4. So we have the 88 and 34. This equals to 110, this equals to 122, and this is the Mayan number. In a leap year on May 1st, May 1st is the 122nd day of the year. So we made the whole rotation, we got to the 122nd day of the year, and we got 5 on this side, 2 times 2, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 plus 4 is 8, and then we have exactly Central Avenue, 8 and 5. 8 and 5, 2, 5, and 8 are the numbers that go north and south, and it's a circuitry that runs all of your mind. All Venus has to do is twirl around in your head like this. And she runs the 2 sides of your mind, also down by your sex organs. By the time this is finished vibrating, okay, all you want to do is have sex at the end because it's turned up your nuts down at the bottom. Your sperm has something to do with your thinking from your mind, might be something to do with the white blood cells. So whatever it is, we're well connected to the entire body, and it's a complete circuitry, and it shows you by either something like this, in which there's a whole lot more I haven't even challenged yet. If I had a grid that I can throw it all on a grid and press, okay, everything multiplied by 3, everything multiplied by 4, or add it up into 7 worlds, or add it up into 7 worlds before I multiply it, add it up after I multiply it, just so I can see all the angles. There's not going to be many. Maximum 10, 12 each. I mean, how much can you get in 9 numbers? The alphabet is the same thing. Give me any letter. Give me letter M. Okay, put it with the D. Give me the letter C. Oh, you want to put a C? Forget about C. It's under 10. It's already included in everything that's been doubled. You have to remove half because it's been doubled in everything else. The face of man is the crestation of the face. The crest, man's face. It's the crestation that makes the face. So we added up. We added up this. 3 times 6, 6 times 7, 7 times 4, 4 times 3. We did the whole thing. And then we did 4 times 6. 4 times 6 was 34 we did. And 4 times 3 was 19 we didn't do yet. 19 and 122. 122 plus the 19 is 141. ADA. DNA. 1 for 1. Exchange. This is in Grover. This is Grover. It was a 1-for-1 exchange of some sort that they made the presidencies. There was a presidency change, and there was a reason for it that Grover came back for another reason. I don't know what it is. 4 times 1, 4 plus 1 is 9. 4 plus 1, 4 times 1 is 9. 49. Now if we go 2002 times 47, which is the number for time, okay, time cube is 47. So when you multiply this, it equals this. 4 and 9 is 13, 4 and 9 is 13. This will become 49, this will become 49. 4 and 9 is 4, 4 and 9 is 4. Who's the president right now? What number is he? Barack Obama? How about the Baltic? B-A-L-T-I-C. B2-A1. Baltic. B-A-L-T-I-C. Just let me remind you of one thing. I know nothing. I'm just putting things together and adding them up. And what comes out in my expression is only because of the previous numbers that I have of what they expressed. Not that I always give every express the same expression. It always depends how it comes about and what the words are before. They revolve in your mind. They're all numbers. They make a process and they tell you what to say. My mind made me do it. And I just want to say one thing. I was asked to go to court to help somebody who needs help themselves. And I told them, and I don't know if I should have told them the way I did, but I told them I won't swear on a Bible. I said, I'll bring my own Bible, and all I was thinking about is bringing Mr. Tackpans because I believe me. But I don't want to pray on a Bible of stupidity where the judge is going to judge somebody on the first time and won't know. So they won't want me to go. So somehow, I don't know why, but my egotistical mind says go. And when they say to put your hand on a Bible, put your left hand to start. And they say put your other hand on the Bible, turn it upside down. She doesn't want me to start any trouble, but I just want them to see that What is this retarded put your hand on the Bible? When I say something and I tell you it's the truth, it's the truth. If I can't tell you the truth, I'd rather not speak. Why should I speak if I can't tell you the story that's true? Unless you want me to just tell you a story. Because all stories are true inside their own vignette. Can you say the vignette? Anyways, let's go down and go down to Baltic. Now, why do I show you all of this? Why are you here? Why are we here? Because we learn together. I don't have things prepared. We cannot learn if we start in the middle. Sometimes I like to go to the beginning. Baltic, 2, 1, 12, 20, 9, 3. 12, 32, 42, 44, 45, Baltic. 47. Isn't that weird, eh? Isn't the Baltic 47 weird? It's the third property. It's the third property, but it's the fourth number. 3 and 4, Earth and Mars. 3 and 4, Barack Obama. 34, J.F. Kennedy, who did not listen. J.F. Kennedy was not going to keep the secret, so they had to take him down. 34, 43, hot and cold water. The moon of man, 3 and 4, hot and cold water. You know why it's hot and cold water? You know why it's hot and cold water? This is what I think. Man goes ice climbing. His mind is cold. He's relaxing, or he's trying to relax. And all of a sudden, in his cold mind, he chips away a piece of ice, and it becomes a thought. And the thought swells in his mind. And then she bubbles over like a volcano. And then she starts to ride down the hill, and all of a sudden, man is creating. Chips a piece of ice, turns into molten lava. Do you see this thing here? Do you see this? This is not a normal. Is this a normal sticker? I'm not sure if it's a normal sticker. But on this, it's not normal. Wherever you bring this cup or this sticker, there's something on here that follows you around. And it doesn't catch you right away. It might catch you when you use a credit card. It might catch you, but it'll follow you. It doesn't know who you are or where you go, but the minute you take out a credit card or the minute you take out a pen and mark your name, all of a sudden, it knows where you're going. It follows us by our own doings. Every person has their own moon and is in some sort of other system, and it costs money to run man. It costs, under my revelation, every single person costs, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year to feed his mind that's somewhere else in the world. The same thing it costs for a penitentiary person is the same thing it costs. I believe they put people in jail just so they can boost the price, just so wherever the mind is in the Baltic, and then they pass the O-ring in the Baltic, and they go over to the Mediterranean Sea, in between numbers 41. The first time you go to the Mediterranean. If you take one step in and you take one step out, then you and you turn it all about, you got one in and one out, you got the Mediterranean. When you have number 143 from go, it's not that you've gone to the Mediterranean. Forget about the 1, because the mind has to bring the body. So forget about the 100. When you're talking about 100, you're talking about 1. You talk about 1,000,000, you're actually talking about 2. You're talking about 1,000,000,000, you're talking about 3. When you're talking about 1,000,000,000,000, you're talking about the moon controlling the rest. Because every section gets 3 numbers, and you know how I know? They taught me in mathematics when I was about 12 years old. And although I think I passed with an average grade in school of about 45, I still remember where the commas and the periods go. So that helped me out a whole lot in this world. So we have all these numbers. We have the number of the Baltic, which is the same number as Jesus Christ, which is the same area he came out of from underneath the sea. Underneath is some kind of place that you need the plutonium, that you need the iron ore, and you need the Fukushimas to run these brain cells. The bodies might not be able to run through it, but these brains could. The Baltics of tic-tac-and-toe. So we had the number total of 141. If I want to add the rest of the numbers, okay, in general, 1 times 2, 1 plus 2, I won't do it that way. I'm just going to go like this. This one's 5, this one's 7. This one's 2, this one's 4. This one's 4, this one's 6. This one's 7, this one's 9. This one's 6 and 6. This one is 3 and 3. This one is 5 and 5. This one is 8 and 8. Crisscross, up and down and all around. This one is 9, 12, 6, 12, 5, 9, 11, 6, 10, 13, 8, 7, 15, 9, 7, 6. Everything will be calculated because when you know the coordinates of everything that's around it, you know where you are. Even though you're not using it in that scenario, at least you know the coordinates of where these elements are that you need to use or are being used within our own body. So the total between 1, 2, 3, all this total now that I have finished everything equals to 3, 6, 10, 15, 19, 24, 1924, 1930, 1937, 1945. What happened in 1945? 1953, 1962, 1972, 1973. What happened in 1973? 1983, 1984, 1988, 1990, 1993. Now I know I missed something here, so we're going to go like this. 1, 2, there's something missing here. Oh yeah, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 15. 25, 35, 37, 45, 55, 62, 69, 79, 80, 91. Let me start again. 6, 10, 15, 19, 24, 30, 37, 45, 53, 62, 69, 79, 80, 91, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 100 plus 141 is 241. So now we add 241. 4 times 2 on the left is 8, plus 6 is 14 equals 5. The Einstein theory, the last number is the Einstein theory, where 9 controls the 5 position. 9 by 5 is 45 and 14, same as 55 again. 5 and 9 is 14. That's the way it all goes, the 2 inside this world. 2 times 41 is 82. That is time heaven. That is the way it turns around. 28, 82 is 110. Everything is 110. Everything is 110. Now I may have missed something, and there's just a ton of stuff in here. So we had 100, okay? We had 100, so we had 241. Now the question is, if it was in the Baltic, and we had 241, and the Baltic makes your 288. When we get to 141, we get to the Mediterranean. Now, how do I get the 47? Why would I get to the 47? I don't know. Can we just add up 241, and then what can we do to get the rest of the numbers? Why? How would I get another 47 over here? Why? Because 7 times 4 and 7 plus 4 is how everything... All we're missing is 47. And 47 is the Einstein theory because 7 by 4 is 28. Man's mind. 7 and 4 is 11. Spirit angel of man, which equals 39. It says Einstein. 59, 59, E-I-E-I-O in the 59 minutes and the 59 seconds in the clock. Now, if all we're missing is 1 minute an hour, then at the end of the day, we'll be missing 24 minutes. At the end of the week, we will be missing 144 minutes. 144 minutes, if you say we're missing 144 hours, we'd only have 24 hours in the week. But you miss 144 minutes. 144 is half of 288. So I can't actually explain to you what it is, but I definitely see it reconnects the same thing. How do we get 47 and 141? Well, when you total Jack, Queen, and King by putting his cap on, Jack 11, Queen 12, King 13, 10 is the beta house. Well, how do you get 10? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 in my heart. You know why? Because the 10 card holds 2 moons. The 8 card holds 2 moons. The 7 card holds 1 moon. 5 moons. The 9 card holds 1 star. The 5 card holds 1 star. 2 stars, 4 moons. 2 and 4. Man's got 2 brains. somehow it's our earthly moon and the Mars moon, and we got to check out the rest of the moons between Uranus, which Uranus has 2 U's. You ever see that haircut? Zzz, zzz. Yeah, it bothers me. The people I speak to, you know, they're very respectful. They're very good people. They hold grudges. They don't respect themselves some of the time. And I think it's selfish of me if I don't go, but it's far. My car doesn't run well, and I may not get up in time. And it's every excuse because I really don't want to go. But she's a really good person. And anyways, so now we had this Baltic thing, New Zealand, the Baltic. We have the president, we have the moons and the crowns that we went through, we have the 4 chips that we're betting, and if you're betting 4 chips, 48 is the angel, right? -1. Usually it's +1, now it's -1, because it's your heart, and it's your decision. Another way to design it is more like this, but if you know this part over here, that would be your football field. The letter M. What is the letter M about? More or less like this. Have you ever seen this? When you don't leave a picture on YouTube, it leaves you this star because you go into here, the 1. You go into here, the 1. See all the aces? You're connecting to the aces. Once you connect to the ace, that ace goes all the way down to the bottom. It's one of these. You go right down there, it grinds it out. Each one gets 1, and then there's 1 in the center. The 1 in the center, you see this one over here? 1 in the center will spin this one, that make this move. They all move. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there has to be, either that's the 4 corners, it's got to be the 4 corners that go in, pop. Or it can be 8 corners, but then you have every single one on the side. Every single piece of Rubik's Cube has to work for a reason, or they would have made it smaller. Do you see this one? This one is your hips that you live. This one is your mind, grinding out this way, turning and trying to figure out whatever you could. And here's your 2 worms. Dino! Hey, Dino! Where are you, Dino? How about Hoppy? Hoppy and Dino? Oh, Hoppy's pregnant and has something in her belly in the front. Dino's a purple dinosaur. And then they brought him back in Barney. Why? Because he doesn't exist. And then they go to the horse racing. They show the number 9 horse, where you control the horse, where they put hopples on him, and they give him all kinds of drugs, and they're trying to do whatever they are the best, and they're the champions of everything, and they ride like the wind, and they won't drink at the water because you can't make them drink. The other thing is this. The Mayans say 42. You're 7 and 7, you're 7 and 7, and you're 7. 7 wines, 7 and 7 and 7. This is a 1, 6, 7, in which it's your 1 mind with the 6 around. This is your 1 glow. 1 mark glows 3 and 3 in man. This is 7. 7 and 7 is 14, you turn this. 7 and 7 is 14, you turn this. 28 is turned by 7. It's 35. 14 and 14, 7, and you need another 7. This one will get 3 7s, this one will get 2 7s, this one will get 3 7s. It gets 2 7s, the question is why? Because 1 7 is 4 and 3 is the earth mind and the prism, and the 1 spirit of 6 will go here, and the 1 spirit of 6 will go here, and then the 6 spirit of 1 will go here. It's got to be the opposite. So if you had 14 here, you'd have 21 here. If you'd have 14 here, you'd have 21 here. The totality is 42, plus 7 is 49. Now you got man of the 649. And that amount and that number, I wish I didn't lose that paper because I drew it out and it took me a while, and that's the number the Mayan show. And then in the crap table, that's the number the crap table shows, 42. That's the number they show. They show 9 to 5, they show 8 and 6, 8 and 6, 5 and 9, 10 and 4, 14, 14, 14 is 42. Now when you want to go to planet Ison and all that, from our last paper, Ison or Nibiru, or whatever else you want to do, I'm just going to go show you that your 8 and 7 are your moons in the cards. 7 by 8 is 56, 2 times 28 a moon cycle. You can count that for Mars. What's a moon cycle on Mars, or is it 2 moon cycles here? If it's 2 moon cycles here, then we understand how many minutes and how many days. 8 by 6 is in your mind. 7 by 8 is out of your mind. This would be a crisscross because the NFL to the NHL is the to the NFL to the CFL. This one you go 1 yard over the line. You need the 5 to get in. You go 1 yard over the line. You have 56, but you're actually only at the 49. Why? Because you have to go from the CFL to the NFL. From one O in the circle to the next O, because when you start the game, there's a coin in the middle of the field. So either you got Mars moons or you got Earth moon. So you got 3 moons. And you got 4 quarters. And each one is 15. 15 minutes, another moon. And then you got war and moon, the war on the moon, to own the moon. There's so many numbers. The electronic world, how A brought E in. A brought E in, almost like saying 88. End of times, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, how to look at these together. There's 9 of them. Do you go first planet, third planet, fifth planet? Do we go first planet, fourth planet, seventh planet? Why it's 7 and 4 is because on your telephone, your calculator, whatever you do, 1, 4, 7 is in a row. 1 jumps into 3 to play. 1 goes into 2, and 2 becomes 3, and you start at 3, and the maximum is 8 because the 9 plays from the 5 hole. And that explains to you Hoover Dam. And something about Las Vegas is how the moon shines and brings us into this world. And the moon shines because Granny had moonshine, and they were down by some place, I'm not sure, in California, the place you ought to be, so they moved up the truck and they moved to Beverly. LY 20, suddenly. The other part is the French English. 88, 88. 86, 86. 85, 85. Now we have to turn it into Roman numerals, but in Roman numerals we have to add it up in regular letters. So instead of an L being an X and coming before it, we just now add it together, or we'll take it off. Well, both ways, anyway, because we don't know, we'll do it every way until the end. New Zealand, Monopoly, Baltic, the nemesis, the genesis of life. New Zealand has the white and black zebra. New Zealand's got a lab underneath the ground, and it's tunneling all the way over to the Suez Canal somehow. And then it pops out of the ground, and pop goes the weasel. Well, they're all in Texas, no? So we were showing all these different numbers here, 1, 3, 5, because I was trying to figure out which way to connect the French, which way to connect the French. So here at 90 is what we're in right now. Now, Q can also be designed as a 2, and it's number 17. The piano is the 7th gate of the one spirit, of the 7th gate of the one spirit. So when you say anytime you reach 80, it's always with the 1 gate of the spirit. When you reach 60, all the way to 79, you're going to say soixante, S-O-I, S-O-I. S is 19, O is 15, is 34. It creates 43, the Baltic. S was soixante, 17. 79. So that'll be 19 plus 4 plus 14 is 23, 33, 37. When we go 79, it equals to 37. And 37 is what we just worked on. It creates the one spirit of the 3 creation. And like I said, we start, cancel 1, and that's why it's not on the phone. Take 2 and 1, put inside of 3, plus add 2 west and 2 east, north, west, north, or southeast. And we do that because either we have this 3 or we have this 3. We have this 2 or we have this 2. We have this 2, but this is a longer 2. It sticks out further than this 2. Although this 2 is a greater of distance, this sticks out greater on the squarity of the angle of the dice. So at this time, So we have 2 east and 2 west, and we created it. You followed what I said. So now we went into number 37, and that creates 21 plus 10. But when you create the 10, in order for the 10 to exist, which is 5 times 2, okay, you need the 5 because it's the heart. You are the complete 10. You are the completion of your totality. Even if you're not rounds, you are rounds for how the wind, if the wind should blow off of you, it'll come out the other side more like looking like the neck of a horse or a football. This one equals 31, which equals to 3 and 4. This is where it equals back to 3 and 4, and this is the French roulette telling you it's Mars, which is the sandbox, and Earth, which is the prism. Let's not go wrong against all these planets, because it took all these planets, and I heard one of these, this nice lady online, and this gentleman who had a hair shape like this, which to me is the Uranus of the vampire age. Okay? Why? Because of the guy who talked about vampires. Vincent Price. Not Carey Price, but Vincent Price carried the price. He carried the price. He carried a rondelle, which is an onion ring, but in our language, it's a hockey puck. I'm Raphael. P and H comes from 44. 4 plus 4, 4 times 4. But before I become the Raphael, I have to own the P and H. 4 times 4, 4 plus 4 is P and H. Take them away, I'm not Raphael. It's not PH anymore. When you take them away, 4 times 4 equals 16. 4 plus 4 equals 8. Equals P, H, and X. X equals to the 34. The one spirit of 6, the 6 dice, in which it only becomes 6 and, the 6 dice, the one spirit of 6 is the only one, you become 7 and 7. This is the H and I, becomes 8 and 9, so I have 7, 8, 7, 9. We got 15, and we have 16, we have 6, and we have 7. We've come back to these numbers, just with the P and H in my name, the pharmaceuticals, the F letter that doesn't get pronounced, F, P, and H, which is 24, which is 4 times F. Why do you have 4 faces? Probably because of the 4 moons. Something to do with the 4 moons. 4 by 6 is 24. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is 8 and 6. 8 and 6 is 14. And in the crap game, it pays the spirit of 76. So when we have this over here, it becomes 19. The Earth, Moon of Mars. 1 and 9. 10 house, your body. And the 9, your 9 is inside your 8 head, running your body. And there's 2 that's missing because mother is 2, so it's actually 6. Mother is in you, but she's 6. She's in your head also. The 2 is in your head through 1. This is number 34, P, H, and X. So my name is Raphael. The end of time. When you take the P and H out, 4 by 4 is 16. The one spirit of 6 is now taken out of you. You do not need that. 4 plus 4, 8. The 8 heaven is taken out of you. Now you go back, RAPHAEL. If you want to really look at this a little bit different, you could just mark it like this. What's real? R-AEL. A1. L is the wing. All wings. A and 1, 1 to 12, 1, 12. This one would be 519. This would be 112. This would be 519. This would be 112. This would be 13. This would be 24. Equals to 37. This is what we go to. Why do we go this way? Because nothing really starts till 5, but we worked all the way up to 12. When you move the 4 from here, you get the 4 to put up over here. Now you get to go up 4. Now you're up 4, you're at 16. If you're up 4, you have to go up 3. You have to go up to 19. You have to go up 4 and 3. 4 and 3. Why? Because of the prism of the mind in the box, in the sandbox of Mars. 5 times 1 times 9 is 45. 45 plus 14 is 59, plus 1 is the 60 minutes on the 24-hour day. 1 plus 12 equals to 13. 13, 1 times 3, 1 plus 4 is 3 and 4. 2 times 4 becomes 8 and 6. This becomes 3 and 4. 8 and 6, this becomes 3 and 4. This becomes 19, this becomes 62, this becomes 81. What happens? Where does this come from? 8 times 6 is 48, plus 14, 62. 3 by 4 is 12, 3 plus 4 is 7. Equals 19, equals 81. And how did it all begin? Three times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, Venus. 3 times the Venus, 243. 234 is jail. 43 is the Baltic. 42 is what we were talking about. 4 times 2, 4 plus 2 is 8 and 6, it's 14. 1 and 4 is 5. Put 5 on this side. 4 by 3, 4 plus 3. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. The total is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 plus 3 is 7, is 19. It's 19. So here we have 19. See, we have 19 over here. We have the same 19 over here. Do you remember why we got this? I don't remember why we got this. I remember we started 5 because everything, our teeth fall out at 5. You have 1, yes, I know why 1, because 1 is here, 2 is here. We take 1 over here and we put 1 here and 1 here. Then we put 1 here and 1 here, now we have the 5. This one disappears. Now over here we'd also go 5 to 12. 5, 1, 2. 5 times 2 is the body you stand in. 10. Plus 8 is 18. You now have 18, the body you stand on. 18 and 24 is the 42. And if we go all around the Monopoly board and we make 41 on the Monopoly board, add on 1 to 42 and we end up in the Mediterranean. 5, 1, 9, 2, 4. 1 times 8, 1 plus 8 is 8 and 9 is 17. 17, here we're going to go 6 and 8 again, which is the dog. This is the cat, by the way. This is a square. This is where the cat goes. Around here is 8 markings. Why? Because the cat is number 24. This 2 times 4, 2 plus is 14. 14 and 17 equals 31. And that's how it all began. 1 with 2 equals to the 3 and 1, which became the 5. Here's my hand. Here it is. It's all about this guy over here and what he can do. This guy may stand up and hold everything in order in one side, but it's this guy who connects to the middle world. 2 worlds, 1 on each side. Now, I didn't even say half of what I wanted to say. I don't even think I got. I did do a little bit of a drawing. I'm going to try and make it a little bit bigger. Can you see the drawing? See the boat at the bottom? Carrying the spirit of one man. See the twin towers? I want to make these bigger. I want to cut these off and make these a little bit bigger. I want to bring it down to here. I didn't do it the best I can do it, but this is one of my drawings, my late drawings. From 2 bombs, they drop to 1 bomb to 2 drops, and all of a sudden you come number 9, and you're walking on the cross all your life. No matter where you step, either you step in the wrong direction or you make the wrong thought. Let me see what else we have in this. We have the football field. We still have the Monopoly game to go. We still have pi to multiply it by 3 or multiply it by 4. We can add it up to the 7 world. Then we can add it up to the 10 world. And at the same time, when you get to the 7 world, you automatically can make it go into the 13 world, because once you hit number 7, 7 and 6 will make on the dice cube your 13 worlds. At the same time, you can also use the Mayan style in which we are connected in our bodies to 2 sides, and that's why we end up at 13 plus 1. 7 and 6 is your 13, plus the 1 spirit, the 1 moon that we run our minds with in this world. 6, 7, 6, 6, 7, 7, 6, which is supposed to really be 7, 6, 6, 7, because it's 7 on the complete outside, the 7th one, the 7th gate on the outside, the 6 on the inside, in which when 6 is on the inside, the line in between everything is your extra 1, because your 7 is 8. Your 6 is 7, because it's the section that you're in, it's the part that touches the other section, it's the section that you're in, and the part that touches the next section. In French, 60. In French, when you say 10, you say 17, 18, 19. And you say it when you get to 60, you say 60 as 60, then you go 60 et 17, et 18, et 19. And then when you get to 90, which is your birth, 60 is your life, you go 17, 18. They say 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. 10, 10, 10, and they also say just 10 at the beginning. But when you reach the 60, they only say 60. But when you reach 70, they say 60 and 10, and 17, 10, and 18, 10, and 19, 10. And they do it 3 times. And 17, 18, 19, 17, 18, 19, 17, 18, 19 is 54, 54, 54. 162. It's the doghouse. Roman numerals. Saying it 2 different ways. Having the guy sitting in the chair. This is the guy inside your brain. He's got the sun lamp on him. He's got the sun lamp on him. And he's trying to direct you in the best place possible. Oh no! Uh-oh, there's a clam looking. Is it a duck? I'm not sure because number 7 just grew ahead. I just want to throw these things out already. You understand the way things connect? They connect more. I can't explain it to you. I can't explain it to you. They took the 20. They took the penny off the market. Why? Every time I go shopping, they tell me, give me 84 cents. I go, listen. I go, why don't you ask me if I'm paying with a credit card or not? Because are you paying cash? Well, then round me out. What is the price? Don't tell me 184 when you know no one has a penny. Eventually, the pennies will run out. The pennies are a resemblance something, and I don't know what it is. See the way it's slanted off to one side? It needs to be on an angle, because the center, okay, nothing cuts through the center. There's one center. The Monopoly, the Baltic, the reason, if you go to jail in Monopoly, it's Halloween, you back up 10 from Go, and you fall into number 31, and you go right to jail. But in all actuality, they don't tell you, you're always in jail. And then there's the grinder. You see this? This is your own end zone. And then this is the other end zone of the other guy. This is the center grinder. What do the coaches do? The coaches, okay, get the gate or aid, which is the gate, aid, and they get the gate, aid port over their head at the end of the game because their mind is hot from thinking all the time. Johnny Carson, Carol Burnett, Tom Hanks, bowling winners, Super Bowl winners, and the Super Bowl we are in this year. The Super Bowl we're in this year. Look at this. If we take the 55-yard line and we go to the other team, but we get 7 by 8 is 56 like we spoke before, we go down to the 49-yard line of this team because we run through the hoop from the Baltic over to the Mediterranean. 44 is where we start, take off 6 yards for man 6, and then take off for the 7th gate. We start from the 37-yard line. We do the same thing. This is Canadian football. Take off 6 yards, we're at 49. Take off now for the 7th gate, you'd be at 42. Or take off 8, you'd be at 41, because this is the gateway in. 1 is 7, 1 is 8. Here's the way she spins. Here's the markers on each side. This is what one spins. Now, if she spins all of these, this might be the circuitry where she runs. She'll run here and here. She'll run here and here. And this that turns in the center will run here, here, and here. Now, I'm not too sure of how it works, but that's one of the ways. The Super Bowl XL, the minute they put it on top, everything is worth 10,000. But when they put it as a bunch of group, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is already, put a comma over here, it's 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 10,000. What do you get the first one? 47,000. 46th Super Bowl. 47th Super Bowl. This year's the 48th Super Bowl. This is the end of the angel numbers. One more thing I wanted to show you. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show it, but the core, because it's got 5 levels on the core, and the core is always number 3 on average. It's 3 or 5, okay, on average. It's 3 or 5, so you got to go 5 times 3. Now, the moons on the side are only 2, 2, and 2, because the other one's an exhaust moon, and the other one's the beta moon. Beta owns 2. So if there's 12, beta gets the first 2. She's 10. Then I'm not sure how you give away 1, 1, and 1 moon. but the one in the center becomes the sun because she's the light. She's charging the moons. So you end up with 3 by 2 is 6, and 5 by 3 is 15. 15 and 6 is 21, 5 and 1 is 6. A and E. A and E is 15, plus 1 is 16, plus 5 is 21. 21 and 6 is 27, 3 by 3 by 3. 5 by 3 goes in here, and 2 by 3 goes in here. We have 7 times 3. 7 and 3 is the number we finited on the other page, which creates 21 and 10 Roman numerals. 21 Roman numerals. In Monopoly, they have a $20 bill. In our lives, most of us, we've seen a $20 bill. But in Roman numerals, the $20 bill does not exist. It exists with 10 and 10. The $30 bill exists with 20 and 10, which is 10, 10, and 10. So whatever we do in life and whatever we see in life is a reason for one thing existing in one area but not existing in the other area, and existing in the other area and both areas only because it takes the two areas to direct and do and deal with whatever you do. The prism of 1 and 2. When you have a triangle and you put it on the bottom, you will always touch 3 walls, in which the top of the pyramid will only touch 1. But at the same time it's touching 1, if you extend the arms into it, it'll turn around and ignite the whole brain. Oh my God, why is my brain cold? Does that mean I had a good session? Andy Griffith. Do not forget the Johnny Carson show. If you have to study anything, go to the Johnny Carson show. The other thing I wanted to mention before we go, S.T. Ming Ting. This will not let me play my videos unless it comes up. This is 1924, is on this side. So because of the dot, so we put 24. And then Timing is timing, it actually says. Okay, T-Y, I don't know if it's T-Y. So it's 25, 34, 49, and 7 is 56. Equals to 80. 80 is 88. You see, somehow it wants to connect to an exterior mind. When you get 88, you get 44 on this side, you get 44 on this side. You create the P and H that's in the P and H of RAPHAEL. You create the P and H that's in pharmaceuticals. You create all the P and H's because you're connecting to one spirit of 6, which is 1, which are the elements of the earth, which is the presidency we're in right now, which was turned around by Grover, in which 3/4, 99% of the people don't even think and don't even care. They just say that's the way it is. That's why the world is the way it is, because people don't care about certain things because it doesn't make them matter. Of course it makes them matter. When you're doing mathematics, it matters. When you're trying to figure out something that's going wrong and you didn't calculate that, it matters. When you can't figure out something, you better add in something else into the pie that you're creating. Hockey, baseball, the red line, the blue line. 1 point when you score a goal, you score 1 point at a time. Soccer is 1 point at a time. You get a free kick. You get a free kick, you get a free shot on goal. In the NFL, you get no free kick. You got to get moved closer or further away. The yards and the penalties in football. How you can move the football. In basketball, you get to score 3. Beyond the arc. Beyond the arc. Do you want to see beyond the arc? I'm going to show you beyond the arc. The coin. You're beyond the arc. You're off the coin. You're outside the circle of your mind. Now you get to throw it in. You get the feel. You get to throw it in. You got 3 points. You got 2 points. You're in the paint. You're in the paint. You're in the red. Anyways, there's a whole lot of numbers. I didn't do really anything in this video. I know I didn't do anything. You remember this? You remember Vincent Price? If your hair looks like this, it's a Vincent Price. You remember Vincent Price? Taking the stake and banging it into his heart, because the heart is banging out all the information. Vampires, it's the head. The wolves, the vampires, the werewolves, the hearts, and all of these are explaining the dead man's zone of thought and function in this world. This world was made to bring the beast on us, to bring the best out of us. That's why it is what it is. But now it comes time for the end, and we're going to see how the best of us come together and not argue. Oh, it was my friend in the street, I had to run out. Guess what? You ever remember Drop Dead Fred? Sometimes that's what has to happen. It's very sad, but it's holy in the heart. But guess what? Even me, I think I would run through the street and jeopardize the whole thing for one person. You remember what they told you in the army? You have to jeopardize the one person regardless. Everybody's going down. If you go save one, you lose everybody. But they've showed you also that to save one, you save everybody. So it's a very hard decision that you can see. The alkaline, the urine, Uranus, plutonium, Menachem Begin, manna chemicals, Israeli manna chemicals, manna, Menachem Begin, Machem, Hashem chemicals, Hakem, Rahashem chemicals. The moon, the tuna, two North Americas, tu in French says you. But if you say it in French, tué, it says to K-I-L-L. Did we do acheter in French? It's if you say this in French real fast, it sounds like a cat. Un chat. But in French, it's really saying acheter. Jeter means to throw out. Versteht means what's happening. Acheter means to buy. Jeter is to throw out. Chet is in Hebrew. Het, chet. E-T, electronic transmission. Why? From this end to this end, to down here, down the pipe. That's why the T sticks out at the top. When Christ died, the T that sticks out is because it's the extension of the small letter that completes the rotation. This is the football field. Here's the end zones. We come up to the 25-yard line. Why? Because we went 5 yards past the red zone. Look at this. We got two Torahs. The Torahs are sitting here, and here's the man in between reading. 25 on the left, 25 on the right. He's actually how many yards in between? He'd be 40 yards, or he'd be 35 yards. Now, they both, 35 and 40, say 75. That's the year it is next year. Next year is the three-quarter year, okay? Next year is the three-quarter year of which 75 and 55, 57 and 75 match and create 47. 50 yards, 55 yards. But it's 10 yards because you're in the center. But it's 5 and 5 yards, so we're talking about lost time. 600 seconds, 10 seconds, 6 cycles, 4 hours, 6 cycles, 48 minutes, 6 by 8. 10 minutes lost, 12 minutes lost. 5 by 2 and 6 by 2. Why? Because this one, 6 by 2, 60, 72, times 5 is the cycle of 360 degrees around. What is it? It's 4 by 6 that creates it. So somewhere in here, there's 12 minutes or 10 minutes missing, or it's 10 seconds per hour. Irregardless, the dice shows 6. If it shows 6, God took the first day for himself and the last day for himself. Therefore, there is only 4. He comes in between us. Therefore, there's only 3 days a week. So 4 times the actual days, plus you must add your mind because you are in God's mind. So you end up with 5 at the end, 260 days a year. So you would lose, if you want to lose the complete, we can't lose the sandbox and we can't lose the 3. So we lose 2 days a week. We keep 4 and we keep 1. 1 is for the mind that continuously controls in between 2 and 2. See the 2 different ways for 2? You only play 6 in roulette. See the way you make the box? See the way you have to have the head? I have to have another set to show you the entirety of me, but I don't want to show you 6. I'm going to put 4. I should be putting 5. I should be putting 5 over here. When you come to the side, this one goes in between here, this one goes in between here. If there was a 5th one here, and this would grind out these 2, they would turn around like this. 2, 4, 2, 2, 4, 2. 6 and 6. 6 and 8 is 14, 6 and 8 is 14, 28 the moon, 28 the moon. 2 by 2 is 4, makes 8. 8, 4 by 4 is 16, it's 24, and 8 is 32, and 8 is 40. You go around the Monopoly board, 40 makes 46, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everyone gets a spirit in between. Now if we take that, we get up with 4, 1, and 5. The 1 goes into the 4, creating the 5. If we do it on the side, we get 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3. Next year, 75, 57, 5, 7, 10, 10, 10, 10. 5 and 3 is 15, 5 and 3 is 8. Make 6 and 8 in the pool balls. We turn it to the other side, or the last side before I don't drop the dice. We get 6, 2, and 4. Not one of them is a spirit, because the spirit is dead center in the top. You got 2 spirits, 1 without. The body. We can only run in 2 and 2 worlds. We have to take 2 of these out. 5 times 5 is 25, and 10 is 35. 3 by 3 is 9. 9 and 6 is 15. 1, and there's your 5. 15, and 35 is your 50. And 35 is 60, 70, 80, 88, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. 7 by 13 times 3, 273 days of pregnancy. 91 times 4, 364 days, 13 moons. 1.25 days extra at the end of the year that we lose. I guarantee you that God, obligation, takes this one day for himself when he covers you with this one, okay, to make this one. He goes too single. He must be single on this. He must use up 3 spaces. He must take this space, then he must take this space to create this space. He makes 3 moves. He goes to 2, he goes to 3, he goes to 4. He creates man 9, 4 and 9, and we already used 4 and 9. 2002 years. 2002. 202. 202 times 4 is 808. It's 808 because then you put 109 and you only need the one brain to run the whole body. It's only one brain, one mind who runs a bunch of other minds inside your body. We have a bunch of senses and controls. They call them the chakras. They call them the Kabbalah or whatever else they call them. This is the way it goes. It's either this or it's this. And it can't be any different. I didn't create the dice. I didn't make these dots. I just don't explain exactly the way it should go. 5, 5, 10, 11. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Now you see, I mixed it up a little bit. It's hard to see because you see the way I went up and then it went down? Just let me show you again. Just let me show you one little thing here. Oh, there goes the cat with my dice. Okay, here it is. See the way it goes around square? So we know it has formation. So now, what do? All of a sudden we got 20. All of a sudden we got 5. All of a sudden we got 10. 10 and 5. Anytime you see 10, you got 5. Anytime you see 5, you have to have 10. That's what you go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20 by 30. And you're running on the end zone, the 20-yard line, and 8. 8 and 6. See these 2s? These 2s, 8, will automatically create 6. You want to know why? I'm going to have to figure this out. How does this equal 6? I can take 1 away, but 8 equals 6. Here's 8. Can I do this? Am I cheating? You see the 8? See the 8? See the 6? See the 6? See the 8? See the 8? See the 6? See the 6? You see the 8? 1 and 5? It's all a system of perfect numbers. Whoever designed the number system in North America or wherever it was created, I would like to do numbers about other societies, other religions. I would love to count in other religions at least to 10. 10 in Spanish, and 10 in Hebrew, and 10 in German, and 10 in French, and 10 in English. And at the end of it all, I want to take Greek, and I want to take the letters and the numbers in Greek, and the signs in Greek, and put them together to reconstruct this entire place of Rome. I would like to do what the Romans do, and they say do it the Greek way from the back side, which means the Greek is the back side. So if I start to design the Greek letters, I will come up with another part of creation. It will rise Atlantis and bring Zeus back to the earth. The man of Neptune to put his staff into the ground and recreate, because what is missing is because they made so many languages and they had to, because it's everything that makes everything that sews and knits everything back together. There is so much I probably did not do. We're going to end with one more thing, and it was so hard. I didn't want to buy it. I was taking pictures of it. I was taking pictures of this. Do you see how 1 and 2 sides of your foot got split? This is the Sudoku. You know what's good about this? Look, 1. Solutions. You see? Solution. The last solution, 334. 28 moons and 334 equals to 40 days missing. The Monopoly board is 30 days is missing from this. There's 30 days not here, because the 30 days that are missing in Sudoku is the 30 parts of creation that is in man's mind of the 1.25 times 4 of the 4 angle, which creates 5, that brought him into the 10 game in the first place. That when 510, I'm going to take these numbers and I'm going to find out why they are the way they are and where they go. There's got to be some sequence. They go because there's a sequence. I've never done this. What do? Do I multiply everything? Do I do this to pi? Can I do this to pi? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to do pi, and I'm going to do 9 numbers here, 9 numbers here. I'm going to have 81 numbers, and 81 numbers, and 81 numbers. And I'm going to do 900 or 1,000 numbers in pi. And not am I only going to do it like this, but I'm also going to do it where I only put 4 in each one. Not 3, I'm going to put 4 in each one. 4 times 9, I'll do 36, and then I'll just do each one individually. Or why don't I start off like this? Do 81 backwards and forwards, and then go to here, and then go to here, and then multiply this by 3, and this by 3, and this by 3. Do it every single way. And at the end, you're going to get an answer. It's just a lot of work. If you jump over something, you're going to miss something. So you got to go from the beginning and put it in a straight arrow and put everyone into their own box. So what happens now is I have 324 with the answer, and without the answer, all I have to do is go to the 288th day of the year, right? Don't forget, I think there's only 288 days of the year. The first birth that can actually happen, according to January, is I told you God doesn't start to make you until he gets the faction of 2 and 2, man and woman. Man and woman, you have to take the woman, and you take the man and you stick this inside the woman, and it builds the second side to make the 5 son of the birth. Because you need to do that, there's 288 days. You have 91 points in every single suit, equaling to 364. The diamond does not cost for a full suit. It's 1.5 suits, and it's also less because it brings into the left the mind, the right the mind, and the center of the mind who you are. So if you have 91, you should actually have 81, 78. You should have no more than 78. Let me see, 78. 78 instead of 91. So you go 4 by 78. 4 by 8 is 32 and 3. 4 by 7 is 280. You have 312. To 288, no, 298, 308, you have 34 is the difference. 34 is the prism of the mind of the sandbox of Earth and Mars, which makes 91. So if we go to 288, if we go to 72 degrees times 5 equals to 360 degrees, in which these mountains are turned by this mountain. This one here is that turns your mind. So this is actually minus 72. This makes up who you are, and this is your mind thinking. This is 288 for your mind, and then you need the 72 for the rest of to carry the body or to carry the rest of your mind in the center. This is 288. This is your mind 72. So if you're actually living on 288, you have 273 days to the 274 days. Remember 274 again? 2 by 7 is 14. 7 by 2 is 14, and 9 is 23. 28 plus 11 is 39. 40 and 59, 62. You remember 6062026?
This is 4774 times 13 moons equals 62,026. Jesus is born 32 cycles times 47 equals 1551. 7 worlds, 6226, the same thing. Same thing. Jesus Christ, 7447. Jesus is number 74. Christ, the Word, equals to 77. 7 of 7, 7 of 4, 151. 151, 151. 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. 11. 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 plus 5, 11. We have 11, 11 from Jesus Christ. 2, the split in 2. You have now 11 becomes 202. Look at bicycle cards. Bicycle cards. And bicycle cards will show you 808 because it's here, 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 and here. And the O is over here of man's mind doing all the work. So we get 288 days. How come? Because you get the 4 moons at work is 288. This would be the Mayans. We would not need the Earth moon. So all we would need is 288. In fact, we'd need less than this, but 288 is the basic. 4 times 91 equals 364. The diamond suit is in here. The diamond has to count for more. The diamond would have to count for more. It wouldn't be more. I don't know what it is. If it's 91, it's got to be at least 44 more. But anyways, we're not counting that. This is 288. 274 days of pregnancy. Why? Because we go 9 months plus the 1 day that you had to put the sperm in is 274. God starts at 5. His 1 plus 4 more. 274 makes 278. 277, 278. This is October 4th. And the year would be 1963. Or 36. Or 63. Would be the year. The year. Why? 991, 199. 6 by 3 is 18, plus 9 is 27, equals 333 of the mind. 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 7, 7, 7. 7 by 4, by 9 is 49, plus 14 is 63, 36. 99, that's Jupiter, and that's your mind is Jupiter. It's a complete moon. October 4th would be the day. And then from this day on, okay, you must meet the moon at halfway. So if you have 274 days, but he's only born till the 278th, and this is in a leap year, otherwise it's 277. If this is in a leap year, you have 274 days. You need 14 days for the halfway between the last moon and the next moon. To call him one moon cycle old, he must come in between the moon cycle when he's born. And he will within 14 days, giving it, in 11 days. Spirit angel of man. 7 and 4 is 11, 8 and 3 is 11, 9 and 2 is the birth tunnel for the 11. So you have the 14 days because it ends here from the first day which God's moon came in, but it's only 11 days from when you come in. So after you spend 11 days, you have spent 6 days in 1 week and 5 days in the other week. Once you have this, the 11 days in, from the 278 would actually be 10 days. And that would be because you get to connect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, because the 1 goes in the center. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then in the center over here, this level here is 1, this level here is 1, this level here is 1. It actually creates your H and H, or I and I. If you create the H and H, if you connect the H and H, you got your 1 moon here, 1 moon here, 1 moon here, 1 moon here. Okay? Now if you got these moons, they're not connected, you can also do it this way. I and I. Now you got your moons here. You got your CO, and then you got your 1O, 1OC. Colloque. Colloque in French means, colloque in French means the person who lives with you in your house. Everything shows what it is. It's crazy. I mean, sometimes I just don't know. Here's your eye standing up. You divide it between the 2 sides. You live on the cross right over here. C-O-I, quack, quack, quack. It's almost like a duck. Colloque, if you put it like this, but you have it as both. You have to box it in. It's got to be boxed in at the end. Why? Because God's not in your... God's in your head, but He's not in your body. He's not in your house. You have your own soul, your own mind. You connect it up to the greatest system that ever came to live on this planet. This is Raphael. I have a lot more stuff. I have Sudoku to do. I still am going to do piano and pi, I think, which is my next one. But if you have a suggestion and you want me to do something, ask me, and I will definitely mention your name, and I will do it. Because I want to get a site where we can get different kinds of plateaus, and everybody can put in their information of what they want to do, and I'll try to make sure it's an ABCD, but an ABCD that is fair, that everybody can take part in, because if it's not an ABCD, what we'll also have is we'll have the sondage, in which I'll put say, okay guys, write whatever you want. Okay, in one word, write whatever you want. And once you match within 3 letters or whatever, it'll show who wants what and what is the most, and we'll do that. And we'll also do the least, because it's within the least that everybody else is going to learn, because it's the least people that knew, so everybody else can see it. So the least is the best. We'll start with less and build up for more. Eventually, we'll become associated somehow. Isn't it great they gave us this computer? It's 11:22. My days are too short. I need to work with others. I need to set up a program. You, we, me, us. We will discover everything that ever happened on this planet. It may take a lifetime, but guess what? We have the beginning. We have begun. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Take away the P and H, or the 88, and everything is real. But when you take away 88, you're now at 200 days. We take away 44, or 33, because that would be the 7th world. And when we take away the next 33, we come up with planet Lovejoy. Because Lovejoy, her planet numbers, 676, the last number is 7, because the 1 position will always put 2. You understand? The 1 position and the last position. If you go 8 and 6 is 14, and you're in the last position, you're going to mark 1, 4, whatever. If you're in the first position, you got 8 and 6 is 14, you're going to mark 4 and carry the 1. So the last number and the first number will always show. It's a law, it's a rule, and everybody does it. Everybody does it. At least since I went to school, since I've been born that I know, everybody's been doing the same mathematical things, using the same numbers in different languages all over the world. Whether you're from Finland or Sweden, whether you come from Korea or Japan, we're all doing something the same. I have to figure out from different parts of the world. I don't want to leave out the Scottish. I don't want to leave out the Russian. I don't want to leave out anybody in this entire world. I don't want to leave out Portugal, because somebody stepped on Mexico at one point. Because I find the Mexicans like the nicest people in the world. Don't call them lazy. They're actually going along with the paraphernalia of what they've learned in their own realm. The Americans, or whatever, we came out to crunch. We were taught to crunch. And after you crunch, you lift everybody up like they do in sports. And they shake hands at the end of the game. Raphael. Well, take away the P and H, it's all real. Or just call me R-AEL. I don't like to say that, because I've said this before, but now there's a group, and Nibiru, the Maya and the Aztec, they say that R-AEL has come here to save us. It's not the same R-AEL, so don't let me confuse you by saying the name R-AEL, although it would be pretty much impossible that I can... Do you know when I talk, every time I talk, my screen keeps going like little frisson? Not that I wouldn't like, I'm only here to bring in a new way of trying to put things in order. I am just calling myself real R-AEL, Raphael, Ronnie, Ronald. Take away letters, add letters. They follow you around by every sticker, every mark, and anything they do. Look at this book. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing, this book. Do you see something in this book that I don't? It says a time to play. Sudoku. 1940. 1944. 1959, 1969, 1970. 1980, 1990, 1991. Take away the 28 of the moon, 1981, 1971, 1963. The numbers they started with, if you take a look, 1971 is exactly at the top. I just mentioned their name, and they showed the same numbers. They take away the 28 of the moon, of the 23, of the 32 of the backdoor creation, between the Baltic, the kangaroo, the zebra, the Aussies,
There's something about the queen we don't know. Who honors the cat? Who treats the dog? What about the Jekyll and the Pharaoh? And was Pharaoh actually here to teach the Jews on how to farrow the land and build the cities? First it was Sethis, who was the father of Pharaoh. So the Jews learned first, and then God sent them out into their own land of Israel. It was their own land in their own head of the actuality what is real. Because it didn't matter where they were working, because they had it not so bad at the beginning. Some of them even had good jobs. Don't forget, when you have a lot, you make more, and you crush those who make few. Eventually, it works out. Thank you for watching 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. I mean, I took this home just to get an idea of what's where, why and what is where, why all these lines, how we're connected, all the sperm that goes up and down in your body, inside your blood. Well, I just like to call it sperm because it's always working to get something for you, right? In your heart. Thank you for